Well, this is embarrassing. You know that video that I uploaded about fear this morning? Well, I'm saying this morning, but for you, it's probably going to be yesterday because I'm doing this on a Saturday night, but I'm probably going to wait until tomorrow morning to upload this video. I think it's actually a pretty common practice among some LPers to actually make a whole bunch of videos in advance, then release them one after the other each day. But for me, it doesn't really work that well, I'd have to say, because of the part bloggish nature of these LPs, I'd have to say. So yeah, usually when I make a part, I usually upload it right away, but I think I'm gonna make an exception for this one. But yeah, what I meant to say is that, well, this is embarrassing. You know, in my video about fear yesterday, I talked about a lot of stuff, but I completely forgot to bring up Magic Guard. Of course, I added some annotations to the video just so that you could know, hey guys, Cleffa and Solosis can actually pull that gig decently because of Magic Guard. But still, it is not quite as good as actually talking about it in your video. So I'm trying to make amends for that. Yes, Cleffa and Solosis work very well as spheres with the toxic spike support, or weather, or, you know, even both. And I forgot about that because none of the source material that I used to help me put this video together made a mention of Magic Guard, and I don't know why I didn't remember it sooner, because Cleffa used to be one of my favorite fears in Generation 4, and Solosis even improved on that by throwing Trick Room in the mix. So, basically, you know what I said about those 6 fears that you should always consider using above all else? Well, you could add Solosis to that list because, well, I wouldn't say it obsoletes Cleffa. It definitely has its advantages, such as the fact that, for example, you could run a level 2 Clefable, and if your opponent isn't paying attention, you could actually go under the radar because we're talking about a fully evolved Clefable, whereas Solosis only ends up as a Reuniclus at level 41. And Reuniclus is actually so bulky that I don't know, it might actually be able to survive a weak hit with more than 1 HP left, though I guess I'd have to run some damage calculations to give me an idea. But still, overall, Solosis is probably the best Magic Guard fear there is. In fact, I'd say that, in my opinion, it's one of the best fears alongside Talo for Scrappy, and also Aron for the whole Shell Bell giving you full healing thing. Now, we made it to Blaine's Gym, which means I'm going to send Tyranitar in the lead so I can wreck all these guys. In Gold, Silver, Crystal, yeah, the only guy that was there was Blaine. There was no puzzle, no underlings, just Blaine. That's it. And you probably saw some stairs as well beyond that ladder. Well, that's because they also brought back the whole dungeon part of the Seafoam Islands. We're going to be taking care of that immediately after the gym. Don't worry, I'm going to head down there, and I am going to... Well, I'm not going to attempt, I know I can do it. I'm going to catch Articuno as well on that run of the Seafoam Islands. And yes, before you ask, I have checked. Articuno is there. You don't have to be blue to catch Articuno. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because Zapdos only appears over at the power plant once you've beaten blue. This is not the case for Articuno. You can get it as soon as you arrive to the Seafoam Islands. And now that we are in a fire gym, I don't know if I've made that run before. Maybe I did, but maybe I didn't. It's hard to keep track because I have made about 800 LP videos so far, so I might have said it in one of them, but it's worth reiterating. I don't know what Game Freak is thinking when designing those fire types, because the thing about fire is that it's a great offensive type, but defensively, it's absolute shit. It's weak to water, it's weak to ground, it's weak to rock. Three of the best offensive typings that there are, and sure, it's got some valuable resistances as well, but it's just those weaknesses. God, they are almost impossible to work around unless you got some really godly stats and a steel typing, because the only bulky fire that I know of that works is Heatran, and it's certainly not because of that first type. Wait a second. Where am I supposed to go? Am I really stuck here? Oh! No, that's not it either. What's going... Oh, you gotta be kidding me! I was trying to go the wrong way. Leave it to me to screw up a puzzle as easy as this. You can't even call it a puzzle. It's just a bunch of guys standing around and taking a step back whenever you defeat them. And I still managed to screw it up. Just great. Just awesome. I am the best puzzle solver there is. What hope do I have to solve, well, just about any ice puzzle? I mean, I know I've gone through ice puzzles before, and there are some of them on in the caves in the Seafoam Islands too, so that's something to look forward to. Yeah, right. Let's see Slowflake suffer in ice puzzles some more. Oh, and you gotta love those next two trainers there. It's like, you know, they could move in a totally different direction, and the path to Blaine would be open. But no! They go towards the center, meaning that you've effectively been cock-blocked, and you have to go through all those trainers all the way around to end up making it to Blaine. But what I was trying to say earlier was that fire types, it's sort of odd, but they always seem to give them bulky stat spreads, even though we've established that fire types are shit at defense. They still insist on making those bulky fire types. No wonder Embor's not catching on. Blaziken's so good at Uber because of speed boost and its really good attack stat. Infernape is overused because, well, it's doing those same things rather well, just not as well as Blaziken, but still damn well. And what do they do for Embor? Bulky stat spread with a lot of attack, but no speed whatsoever. So basically, it's just completely useless. And that's not just Embor either. They've insisted on doing those spreads from the very first days of Pokemon. Whether we're talking about Ninetales or Torkoal, for example, Magcargo, it just boggles the mind. Why do they insist on making bulky fires? That doesn't work! Though, I guess, with stuff like Darmanitan and Volcarona and, I guess, Chandelure as well, they are starting to get a clue, I guess. But still, and you're looking at a Magcargo right now, Fire Rock, arguably the worst defensive typing in the entire game. And what do? Give it a crap ton of defense! That's right, and nonetheless it still gets murdered by any ground attack. God knows I've killed enough of these guys in Stark Mountain. Yeah, you know, remember the run through Stark Mountain that took fucking forever? Yeah, I definitely do remember that. Now, we finally made it to Blaine, and if you noticed, all of those underlings only had one Pokemon. Blaine has a team, if I recall, that's rather similar to his Gold Silver Crystal team, only with much higher levels. So, keeping Tyranitar in the lead because, you know, it's been doing a very good job so far. Sort of surprised I actually outsped all those Pokemon and didn't catch any stray will-o-wisp or something. And here's another mag cargo! Yeah, because the first one wasn't enough for us. Wanna bet that it's not gonna live? Let's take a look. Let's just see. It would be interesting to see, if there were no strict damage clause in this thing, to see just how many times over you could kill it. It would probably be a pretty interesting number. Anyway, mag cargo goes down. No surprise. Tyranitar level 59 rise. And, yeah, Sandstorm rages and everything. Oh, by the way, that mag cargo had a special defense boost because of that. Not that it matters, because Tyranitar is a physical attacker, first and foremost. Magmar, now. Gonna go with Stone Edge, because, I fought a Magmar earlier on in this gym, but this belongs to a gym leader, which means probably, better suited stat spreads, and by that I mean EV spreads. You can't alter the stat spread of a Magmar, but for EV spreads, sure, why not? And I guess the last one is his Rapidash. You know what? I'm gonna send in Lapras, because for some reason I'm not feeling awfully confident about Stone Edge connecting right now. It's been doing well so far, but it's due for a miss. And I'm sort of worrying about taking a Mega Horn to the face. Overheat! Okay, how much damage am I going to take? It's going to be neutral because Lapras's weakness is cancelled out by the Water type and vice versa. And let me guess, White Herb, right? Yep, figured as much, White Herb. So let's see, is Serve going to be enough to kill a level 59 Rapidash? It's level 59 versus level 59. And, oh man! I'm gonna have to... No, I won't have to! I won't have to sit through a full restore because the Sandstorm was just enough to kill it. I was thinking, to avoid a repeat of what happened last time and hit it with like a weak Thunderbolt or something, and then go all out with Surf so that I wouldn't have to sit through 3 or 4 full restores. And with that, we got badge number 15, the Volcano badge. Let's celebrate with some Volcano bake meat. Oh, come on! Like I wasn't gonna bring that up while I was in the area of Cinnabar in this world-famous volcano. Okay, so I got an Overheat TM as well. I have no plans for it. It's just not nearly as good as Draco Meteor because it's much more easily resisted, which is why you see Draco Meteor all the time in competitive play, but Overheat, you see it very rarely. So, we are done with this part of the Seafoam Islands. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to head back to... Oh, you couldn't come up with a pun that was any better than this? I just witnessed a hot battle! Gee, I wonder how many seconds it took you to think that one up. Anyway, what I meant to say was, I'm going to head back to Cinnabar Island real quick to heal my team. I'm also going to change my lead back to Raikou since we're going to be facing a lot of water types in the Seafoam Islands. Lucky for me, I got still, I think, 4 users of Thunderbolt on my team, so I'm in no danger of running out. It's sort of weird, how Cinnabar Island, as some of you have pointed out, there was this big volcanic eruption that obliterated everything except for the perfectly functional Pokémon Center. By the way, while we're on Cinnabar Island, now that we've defeated Blaine... Oh, wow! He wasn't going to count my badges. He just, took my word for it or something. But, oh well, if we want to fight Blue, now we can. But we're not going to do that just yet. We have some unfinished business in this area. We still have to go through the Seafoam Islands, get Articuno, and after that, there are going to be a bunch of trainers to fight beyond the Seafoam Islands, because we're still not done with the Route 20. We've only just done half of it, and then there's the entirety of Route 19 waiting immediately afterwards. So we're going to be taking care of all that next, and once all that is done, then I'm going to go and fight Blue. So next time on the Pokemon Soul Silver, we're going to start heading down the very, very complex, and I'm not kidding here, the Seafoam Island.